The next-gen car does not seem to fail when it comes to the mile-and-a-half racetracks, or just intermediate tracks in general. Another good race, lots of great passes, crazy restarts, tight battles, and some more playoff issues. And we still don't have a playoff winner in the playoffs, so we have a lot to talk about after Kansas. Hey guys, NASCAR Mobile 48 back again. We're back to another episode of NRR. In today's video, we're going to be reviewing the 2022 Hollywood Casino 400 from the famed Kansas Speedway. I don't know if it's a famed racetrack, but it's in the Midwest, so whatever, goddamn. Anyway, what a race it was. Really good racing in general, in my honest opinion. Bubba Wallace able to get his second career win. 2311 Racing sweeps both Kansas races with both 45 cars. So that's really cool to have Kurt Busch win the first one and Bubba Wallace win the second one. So that's really awesome to see right there. Some playoff drivers had some really good standout performances. One playoff driver is officially locked in on points. We'll get to him in a minute. And then also we had some other drivers who had some playoff issues, especially two drivers early in this race, so we'll get to them around halfway through this video. But without further ado, let's go ahead and dive on into this review. Finishing in first was Bubba Wallace. What a race it was for Bubba Wallace. He finally gets the redemption here at Kansas. He gets the win here today. 18th different winner through 28 races. Really cool to hear. Second career win. His first win on a mile-and-a-half track in the Cup Series, and third win for 2311 Racing. And you can officially say Bubba Wallace does have the most wins for 2311 Racing too. So really cool. And like I said earlier, 2311 Racing sweeps Kansas, so really cool right there for that team and organization. Bubba Wallace still going for the Owners Championship in the number 45 car, but really Bubba Wallace has just been having a really good day in general. Literally, the weekend has just been really perfect. He's had one of the fastest cars. He qualified 6th today for this race. Ran pretty well in the first stage. Stage 2, he started to light it up a little bit more. Started to challenge, because especially towards the end of stage 2, it looked like he was having a really strong run. He had to... he at one point fell back a little bit because he had a loose wheel, I'm pretty sure, but he fought back from that and was able to come back and was able to pass Alex Bowman for the race lead and the potential race win. Held off Denny Hamlin within the last 10 laps to get the win. Really cool performance there from Bubba Wallace. This shows that he does have talent, and just the team in general has talent overall. So really cool to see what Bubba Wallace and 2311 Racing can do when they have things go their way and they don't have pit issues or mistakes that we've seen at Kansas early this year in May. So let's see if they can get some more wins. They could back it up with a win at Bristol, or maybe at another mile-and-a-half they could get a win. I'm not sure about Texas, but I don't know. We'll see. But a really good strong run from the number 45 team. Let's see how they do for the rest of the playoffs. Finishing in the runner-up position was Denny Hamlin. The weekend didn't really go off to a good start for Denny Hamlin. They qualified 25th for this race, and early in the race, Denny Hamlin had a pit penalty for equipment interference. Suarez kind of had the same theme. Good job from Steve Letarte from NBC to explain what happened. It was about the tires rolling off, but that's not good for Denny Hamlin. 34 pit road penalties for that team all season long. One penalty at the wrong time in the playoffs could cost them, but luckily it was early in the race under the competition caution, so did not really affect much. But later throughout the race, Hamlin definitely had one of the fastest cars, especially on the long run. Even better on the long run than Bubba Wallace. And really, I could really see that he had that long run speed towards the late portion of stage 2, and then finally in stage 3, where he, throughout the pit cycle, where he got by Christopher Bell and passed a few other drivers, almost got to Bubba Wallace within the last 10 laps, but was not able to do it. Really cool to see Bubba Wallace and Denny Hamlin finish 1-2. Last time we saw these guys finish 1-2 in a race was the 2018 Daytona 500, I'm pretty sure. So cool to see Bubba Wallace, the first driver for 2311 Racing, to get the win, and Denny Hamlin to finish second as the co-winner for the team. So really cool right there for Hamlin in the 11. We'll see how they'll do at Bristol, but they definitely have some good momentum on their side with 2 back-to-back second place finishes, so on a hot streak for the number 11 team. Finishing third was Christopher Bell. Another close one for Christopher Bell. Definitely looked like he had one of the best Toyotas at the start of the race, and then some other Toyotas came to play, like Truex came to play, then Hamlin, and then Bubba Wallace eventually getting the win. But a nice strong run for Christopher Bell, really all weekend long. Definitely one of the fastest cars in practice, qualified 4th for this race, and he won stage 1 earlier today. Didn't have enough to catch like Alex Bowman later in stage 2, but definitely was still up there in the top 5. I don't even think Bell exited the top 5, top 10 once in this race. He was consistently up there all day long, even through the crazy tight battles all day long as well. So a nice solid 3rd place finish for them. They've really been looking good these last few races. Literally, this is 4 top 10s in the last 5 races. And look, he was close at Richmond, just was not enough. Got 8th at the Glen, 36 Daytona, that's Daytona, 5th last week at the Southern 500, and 3rd here today. Really good for Christopher Bell and the 20 team. Let's see what they can do in Bristol. Oh, and yes, they are officially locked into the next round of the playoffs with, I believe, 48 points. Finishing 4th was my boy Alex Bowman. Definitely the best Chevrolet by far. Really good race for them. Went to the lead early, took it away from Joey Logano just like that. And then he had a little bit of a battle with Tyler Reddick, but was able to beat him on raw speed. So Bowman had a really fast car. Really cool to see him run up front. It's been a while since I've seen Bowman run up front, since like Las Vegas earlier this year, but really cool to see him out there. He did have a bit of an issue with Chase Briscoe. They both made contact on pit road. I think it was probably Bowman's fault. I had to go back and look, but that kind of put them behind the 8 ball. He definitely looked like he could have won the first stage, but you know, since that issue on pit road happened, he wasn't able to do so, or even finish in the top 10. But later in the race, he was able to get back into the lead and was able to go on to win stage 2. And they were really racing tight at the beginning of the final stage, and Bowman was just pulling away. But then eventually Wallace was able to catch Alex Bowman, and Bowman still was able to hang on to the top 5, able to get a nice solid 4th place finish. So really good for Bowman. 2 straight top 10 finishes for him going into Bristol. Bowman looks really comfortable going into the final race of the round of 16. So I think Bowman just has to have a nice solid clean race in Bristol, and I think he's on to the round of 12, but a nice strong run for this 48 team. And rounding out the top 5 and 5th was MTJ Martrix Jr. Nice solid run for Martrix Jr. This is also like 4 top 10s in the last 6 races, so really good momentum for Martrix Jr. And he really lit up mostly in the second stage. Him and Stenhouse were really going at it at one point. I was surprised Stenhouse was running up there, especially after Stenhouse got into the wall literally twice this weekend. Got into the wall during practice and got into the wall during the race. Did suck for Stenhouse though, to get into the wall, because he definitely looked like he had a fast car, and I think he wound up finishing like 30th after he started like 35th, so that sucked. Or actually no, he started at the back, because didn't they have to make an adjustment? I'm not sure. But anyway, Truex had a really strong day. He looked like he was about to win one of the stages, but could not. And I think he fell back at one point. I think it wasn't Bubba Wallace who had the loose wheel issue. I think it was Truex who had the loose wheel issue. So Truex had an issue on pit road, but was able to battle back and then was able to get a nice solid top 5 finish. So really good rebound for Martrix Jr. Still looking for his first win of 2022. Really cool for him to be the 19th different winner, because he's the number 19 car, but a nice strong finish for the 19 team. Finishing 6th was William Byrne. I'll have to admit, Byrne wasn't really a top 10 car in my opinion, because it was mostly early in the race. Byrne wasn't really looking all that strong. I mean, he ran in the top 10 a little bit earlier, but he wasn't really a top 10 driver in my opinion. He mostly ran like around top 15, and I don't really have anything else to say about him, but he still had a really good race. So that's just good for William Byrne and the 24 team, especially ran up inside the top 5 late in this race to get all those points and able to have a nice solid finish. So really good for them, getting a nice solid 6th place finish to end the day. 2 straight top 10 finishes for the number 24 team. They look pretty comfortable, as well as their teammate Bowman, going into the final race of the round of 16 in Bristol. They just have to have a clean race in that one. Finishing 7th was Ross Chastain. Ross Chastain was involved in one of the earlier incidents of this race, where him and Wallace kind of came up the track, and then Harvick got a bit airtight and got loose and hit the wall hard. That took him out of the race. So I don't know if it was really Chastain or Wallace's fault, but they were really racing hard. So they were both going at it. They were both being pretty aggressive. But it was a really strong run compared to last week for Ross Chastain. It was a run that he really needed, because Darlington was a little bit of a disappointment. I feel like Chastain's good at Darlington. He's ran good there in the past in the Xfinity Series. Even last year in the Cup Series, in the Southern 500 for Chip Ganassi Racing, finished third. But then it was kind of a disappointment. They had a little bit of a suspension issue, but comes back to get a nice solid top 10 finish here at Kansas. First top 10 since New Hampshire in July. It has been a while. Ever since he got wrecked by Denny Hamlin, he has struggled to get a top 10, and his best finish before today was 18th. So good for him to get another top 10 finish. So we'll see how this will do for him in points going into Bristol. Finishing in 8th was Kyle Larson. A really quiet day for Kyle Larson, I'll admit. I mean, I know he kind of like ran into the top 10, but he wasn't really like a driver that could compete for the win necessarily. Well, maybe towards the end of the race he got a little bit better, but still wasn't one of the best drivers all day. Heck, wasn't one of the best Hendrick cars all day for once. It's been a while, but a nice solid finish for Kyle Larson, especially after the crazy weekend they had last week at Darlington. I think just having a nice solid quiet day and getting a nice solid top 10 8th place finish really settling for them. So we'll see how they'll do in Bristol. Finishing in 9th was Ryan Blaney. Blaney was really good early in this race, but I don't know what happened to him since then. I mean, he started 17th. He was climbing his way through the field, ran up inside the top 5, top 10, was looking really strong, had a little bit of a battle with Bell towards the end of the first stage, and apparently kind of bumped the back of Bell's car after the first stage, so I don't know if he was like, might have been upset with him. I don't know what Bell did to him. I guess we'll have to check a replay once that's released. But anyway, after the first stage, Blaney kind of like really fell back a little bit and wasn't really that much of a competitor since then. But he still got a top 10, which is really solid. So I think they'll just take that and leave it and go into Bristol. Because Bristol for Ryan Blaney is complete hell. So they just got to get out of there clean. They just got to stay out of trouble. You guys just don't know how bad Bristol is for Ryan Blaney. I don't know. It's hard to explain. But anyway, Bell and Blaney, I don't know what happened between them, but Blaney had a decent race, decent finish, 9th place. They'll just take it and move on to next week. And rounding out the top 10 is Daniel Suarez, finishing in 10th. Decent race for them. Wasn't really much of a driver who was making a lot of noise. Just ran in like top 10, top 15. Had a little bit of a pit road equipment issue, interference penalty, just like Denny Hamlin, like I said. So they had to knock that off of them. But they were still able to get a nice solid top 10. They kind of wanted to stretch out their pit cycle a little bit, see if they can make something happen or catch a caution, but that was not the case. But they were still able to round that out and get a nice solid top 10. So decent finish for Daniel Suarez in the 99. Just better than what ever issue they had last week at Darlington. So now let's rate this race. This race was really good. I love the tight battles that we had, the crazy restarts. Those were really enjoyable as well, along with the playoff drama. Kansas, definitely one of the best mile and racetracks we have on the schedule. Definitely top 2, in my opinion. I think it goes second to Homestead, Miami Speedway being on top. And the race in May was also really good. So Kansas had a really good year, in my honest opinion. Now, if I had to rate this one, I'll give it a nice solid 8.5. It was really solid. It's just a nice typical Kansas race. Really cool and really awesome to see another non-playoff driver win a race. So will we see a third non-playoff driver win? It's possible, but I'm not sure. Bristol is Bristol, and we haven't seen what the next gen car can do on concrete Bristol instead of dirt Bristol. So that will be interesting. And concrete, that kind of is ringing the bell to Chase Elliott. He won at Dover and he won at Nashville. So I'm not sure, but we'll see. But a nice solid race in my opinion. Let me know what you guys would rate it in the comment section below. I'll give it an 8.5. So we had 3 playoff drivers having issues today here from Kansas. Let's start off with the minor one, Kyle Busch. It was just not really a good day. He kind of lost some spots early in this race, but they were able to make some adjustments, and they were able to fight through that, and we're starting to make up spots. Eventually got inside the top 10, and eventually got into the top 5. And then I believe at one point he kind of fell back a little bit, and then Kyle Busch spun out. Yes, and that was towards like the end of stage 2. He spun through the grass, and then that eventually had a tire go down, I believe right before he hit the grass. So, yeah. Really frustrating for Kyle Busch. I don't know. How many times has Kyle Busch spun out on his own? That shows you that this car is hard to drive. So if Kyle Busch is having issues, then that speaks for itself. But some other drivers aren't having as much issues, so maybe it's just a Kyle Busch thing. But that's all I want to say about that. Next up is Kevin Harvick. This was probably the biggest one in my opinion. Like I said earlier, Chastain and Wallace kind of came up the track. Harvick got a bit arrow tight, arrow loose, whatever you call, and he hit the wall hard. And you should have seen what it done to the freaking right front. It freaking made that tire freaking bouncing up and down as it was moving. I thought it was an actual Cars character from the movie in real life or something. I feel like that's what they do in real life. I'm not sure, but it sucks for Kevin Harvick. He's been putting NASCAR on blast about the whole incident that happened in the Darlington race where his car caught on fire, and about the driver's safety. He's been putting them on blast about that, which I totally agree with. That NASCAR needs to get all that stuff situated. Probably during the season isn't going to be the best time because it's week to week, so maybe do the best when it's month to month, but puts them on blast, and then this happens to him. So sucks for Kevin Harvick. And Ronnie Childress even said that if they had two bad weeks in a row, it's not going to be looking pretty. And Harvick still has confidence that they can make something happen at Bristol. I'm pretty sure Harvick's like over 30 points out. So I think Harvick is in a must-win situation going into Bristol. And don't get me wrong, Harvick's good at Bristol. He ran really good at Bristol before Chase Elliott kind of got in his way last year. So I'm just saying, Harvick could make some noise there, but we're in the next-gen car. It's going to race differently. High Bank Bristol, I'm not sure. We shall see. And then finally, Tyler Reddick. He just cut a tire, went into the wall. There was nothing he could do about that. That is just so unsatisfying, because you see 23 Level Racing having good luck at Kansas, Reddick having bad luck. When Reddick's running out in front or running up there, tire goes down, gets into the wall. That's exactly what happened in May, and it happens today in the playoffs. Not good for Tyler Reddick. I don't think he's below the cut line, but I think he's above the cut line, but probably by a lot. Yeah, I don't think he's above the cut line by a lot. And then we're going to Bristol, and he did not run so good in Bristol last year. I think he finished like 16th or 17th, but this is a different Bristol, with the next gen car, but Reddick's not really that much of a short track driver, so I don't know. A lot of struggles for these drivers right here. They could be potentially out, especially Kevin Harvick. So we'll just look at the playoff grid here in a sec, but let's take a look at our drivers of the day. Now for our drivers of the day, here we are with the unlucky driver of the day. Got to give it to Ty Gibbs. I'm not sure what happened to Ty Gibbs. Apparently they said down the backstretch he was kind of slow or something, or he kind of checked up or something, and then Corey LaJoie just went into the back of him, and then Ty Gibbs went into the wall. Ty Gibbs, I don't know if he was happy with Corey LaJoie about that, but I'm not really sure if that's exactly what happened, if he checked up or something. Maybe Corey LaJoie just ran too hot into the back of him, or just was right up on his bumper, just turned him in there into the wall. So that did suck for Ty Gibbs in the 23 car, because the 45 car went on the win, but the 23 car ended up in the garage. For Underdog Driver of the Day, I'm going to give it a good old Christopher Bell. Definitely an underdog in the playoffs. Already is locked into the next round of the playoffs. This guy is having a heck of a playoff run right now. I mean, I know he made the round of 12 last year in his first playoff appearance, but looking really solid right now. Definitely looking one of the top performers. Could make it to the championship 4. Just saying. It may be a bit too early to say, but I'm just saying that for reference. I guess the closest driver I could say for comeback driver of the day would be Denny Hamlin, because he had a pit road penalty, and you just gotta admit, 34 pit road penalties, completely unacceptable from his pit crew right there. I don't know what's worse, Denny Hamlin's pit crew all season, or Bubba Wallace's pit crew from earlier this year. It's kind of both, but yeah, right there, Denny Hamlin, 34 pit road penalties season long. I mean, not all of it's on his pit crew. Some of them is on him when he comes in a bit too hot, or exits too hot. I'm not really sure, but he came back from that penalty early in the race and was able to get a nice solid top 5. So I guess that's sort of a comeback. I don't know. No one near the top 10 had a comeback, so that's the closest I could say. Now for overall driver of the day, I'm going to give it to Bubba Wallace. I was going to give it to Alex Bowman because he won a stage, and I'm pretty sure Bowman led the most laps and looked like one of the best cars so far, but I'll just give it to Bubba Wallace because I thought it was just really good for him, battling throughout the field. Had a top 10, top 5 car that could contend for the win. Passed Alex Bowman right there when he needed to. Had the car on the long run. Had the car to beat in the end. Held off his teammate, Toyota teammate, his boss, for the race win. So I think I'm gonna give it a Bubba Wallace. Congrats to him on his second career victory. So now let's take a look at the playoff standings coming out of Kansas and heading into the final race of the round of 16, the elimination race in Bristol. So first off, Christopher Bell, who is now officially locked into the round of 12, who's plus 58 above the cut line. Then you have Byrne plus 48, Hamlin plus 47, Logano plus 40, you have Blaney plus 36, Bowman plus 30, Elliott plus 28, Larson plus 27, you have Chastain plus 26, and then now we're getting down to the cutoffs right here. Then you have Suarez plus 6, Reddick and Cindric both plus 2, but Reddick has the advantage over Cindric with more wins, so Cindric is plus 2. Then we have the cut line right here. Below the cut line, Kyle Busch minus 2, Dillon minus 3, Briscoe minus 9, and then Kevin Harvick minus 35 points. Meaning, Harvick has to win. He is officially the only driver who has to win this race in Bristol. If Harvick doesn't win in Bristol, he is officially out. And the other drivers that just have to point their way in, it's from Suarez, Reddick, Cindric, Kyle Busch, Dillon, and Briscoe. So these three are the only ones that can make it on points. Harvick has to win. So really tight right now going into this final race. So right now it just looks like that 10 drivers are locked in. But things could happen to Byrne all the way down to Chastain. So things could still happen to them. But if you're Suarez, Reddick, and Cindric, might be sweating a little bit because it's pretty tight right now. So we'll see. And then you have some drivers who are really good in Bristol, like Kyle Busch. I feel like he's a driver that can get it done at that track. So let's just wait and see. But that's going to do it for today. So guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. If you guys want to check out my gaming channel, NASCAR Gaming 48, link will be down in the description below. I just uploaded an F1 video on that channel yesterday. So please subscribe down below or check that channel out if you want to check out some cool little gaming videos. But I should have my next one up probably tomorrow, probably Tuesday. I shall see. And also, if you want to check out my Instagram, link to that will also be in the description. And subscribe to this channel. Still, thank you guys for 200 subs. Let's keep the sub count going up, but I do really appreciate you guys who tune into the videos. Like, comment, share, subscribe. You know how it is. But I shall see you guys later this week so that we can do my truck series predictions. Yeah, I forgot all about the truck series. Hocevar and Crafton were eliminated, so now I will predict who will be the championship 4, or who will be eliminated from the round of 8. I don't know. Truck series so confusing. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I shall see you guys in the next one. Let's see who's going to get eliminated in Bristol. This is NASCAR Mobile 48. Peace out.